Hey bloomers, for today's video I'm sharing with you 6 daily lifesavers that have impacted my life and how you can implement them in your life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I share all aspects of personal growth and self-development. If you're new here, welcome. This is a judge-free zone, so if you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the movement. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. What are the 6 daily lifesavers and why have I implemented them in my life and what have they done for me? As I mentioned in a previous video, I have been on a lifelong journey of self-development and self-growth, and I've always been researching what is out there and what is going to improve myself, and it's just been like a never-ending puzzle and journey to kind of like see what is gonna work, what is not gonna work. So SAVERS is an acronym. So the first S stands for silent, A stands for affirmation, V stands for visualization, E stands for exercise, R stands for reading, and the last S stands for scribing, or in other words, writing. So this definitely did take some research because I was so new to it, especially starting a self-growth journey. Like, you don't have all the answers. You're really not gonna ever know what exactly to do. So it's gonna definitely take some research. So the point of this video is to give you some ideas of what I've done and to educate you as far as what the 6 daily lifesavers are and why they're important and why you should be implementing them in your life. They're definitely going to change your life, and that's what I'm here for, to educate you and to improve your life. Let's jump into it. So the first S again is silence. That's just mainly just taking time for yourself to just be one with yourself. Like, that's why a lot of people do meditation, but just it's like a moment for yourself to just take for you and just be able to be one with your soul, and just be able to, if there's anything that's going on, you know, as far as your thoughts, you can just kind of hone those in and just really know what you're feeling and just get a better grasp of understanding yourself. Because the thing is that we cannot depend on anybody to fix us. That is our job. And if we're not taking the time out of our days to sit alone and actually figure out what it is that is bothering us, or what we're feeling, or what kind of issues that we're going through, then we're never going to be able to be self-aware of the issues and problems or just emotions that we're facing. And then that's our starting point. We have to be so self-aware, and if we don't take that time to be silent during some part of our day, then it's just not gonna work. In the mornings, I do majority of the lifesavers here. So I get up in the morning, I literally sit in silence for about 5 minutes and just kind of like, okay, let's do this. What am I feeling? Just kind of like, okay, where am I at today? What do I need to work through today? Kind of like grasping a general understanding of myself and how that's going to impact my day. If you're going through a tough situation, or you're going through some mental health issues, or for me, I'm going through counseling, there's gonna, every day is gonna be different. So you definitely need to figure out where your starting point of the day is, and silence, or just sitting in silence and meditating or whatever, is definitely gonna help you. Alright, and so we move into affirmation. So affirmation is literally my favorite part of the day, because that's where I can correct the way that I'm feeling, or just correct the false narratives that I am believing in that moment. I love to do silence and affirmation together, because if I can assess where I'm at with silence, then I can correct it with affirmation. So I can tell myself, if I'm feeling unworthy, like I at that point tell myself, no girl, you are worthy, you know, you are a queen, you're beautiful, you're worth it, you can do anything and everything. And so I love that, because that is that time in the day where you can literally be your own cheerleader. You can be that person who's gonna uplift you, and that's definitely the best thing, because once you become that person for yourself, like, it doesn't matter what anybody says to you, because at that point, you're the person for yourself. Like, you are that person who's gonna always pick you up no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, no matter what situations are thrown your way. You're gonna always be able to, you know, we're all human, we're gonna feel things, we're gonna cry, we're gonna like get emotional, you know, it's just like part of life. Like, we're human. Hey, like, I'm gonna have my moments where I just want to give up, right? But when you build that mentality of just knowing that you are the only person who's gonna be able to fix it, with affirmation and affirming, like, hey girl, take a moment, you know, assess it, feel it, go through it. Okay, now let's correct it, let's move forward. You know, we let that pass, we felt it, but now we're gonna move forward, because we're not gonna stay stuck in the same situation. We're not gonna stay stuck in the same type of mentality. We're just gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna move into visualization. So I love visualization because I don't know, I just love how SAVERS goes. So it's silence, affirmation, visualization. So for me, it's like, okay, assessing where I'm at, right? Affirming to correct it. Then visualization is like, okay, if I don't believe what I'm saying when I'm affirming it, then that's my time to actually visualize it. If I know that I have an important meeting for the day or whatever, and if I'm gonna have to be speaking in front of an audience, which hasn't always been my thing, even though a lot of people say that I'm good at it, for me, I have to like pump myself up. I have to be my own cheerleader, right? So if I'm like waking up that day and I'm like so nervous about what I'm gonna have to do, what I'm gonna have to say, am I gonna mess up? So then that's my chance to know, like, okay, I'm over here nervous about publicly speaking. So then what I do, I affirm and I just say, you know, you can do this. You are a bomb publicly speaker, like, you're gonna nail this, you got this, girl. And then that's my chance to visualize it. That's my chance to kind of like go through the speech in my head and like visualize me crushing it, and then, you know, it makes me feel better, and it actually makes me go into it with confidence, and that is what you want to do. Visualization can literally be anything. So if like you're in a financial situation where you're just struggling, then that's your time to visualize that you're debt free, that, you know, you live in a beautiful home. Like, if you're in an apartment right now, maybe your dream is that you want to own a home. So then that's your chance to just visualize that. If you're in a, you know, toxic relationship, and maybe for you it's just visualizing that you are happy on your own, or maybe for you it's just that you want to be at peace, and so maybe it's just you visualizing that you're on a retreat or a vacation, or maybe for you, you aren't with your family, or maybe you miss somebody, and for you it's just visualizing you being with that person, or just like having happy moments, or just whatever it is. Visualization is so powerful, because when you believe it, then anything is possible. Okay, alright, so exercise. Alright, so this definitely took some time for me to grasp what was gonna work for me, because I used to try to do a 30-minute workout right whenever I woke up, and I'm not a morning person. I'm never going to be a morning person. I don't strive to be a morning person, but all I would say is just find something, as far as like if it's just stretching, or maybe doing some jumping jacks, some squats, or push-ups, sit-ups, you know, whatever it is that's gonna get your heart pumped. Of course, you can schedule out a time and day for you to work out. Right now, I'm actually working out 6 days a week, which is kind of sounds crazy, but if you think about it, if you just schedule out that time per day to get it done, it's really easier than you think. And so you can definitely get creative with this stuff. So I had found this, I don't know, cube, whatever you want to call it, and it has like different, you know, things on there. So if you don't really know as far as like what you want to do for that day, or you just don't know, or you just want to challenge yourself, like this thing has like 30 jumping jacks, 30 squats, 15 dips, like, you know, dips, 25 crutches or sit-ups, 10 pit push-ups, 40 mountain climbers. And like, it's just so that it's fun, and it's like something for me. Like if I can't think of what I want to do for that day, because I know like, hey, as girls, we really can't make up our minds sometimes. So it just kind of saves me from having to really know what I'm going to do that morning or whatever. And it just, whenever I do it, it's just whatever comes out, and then that's what I have to do for the morning. Or like you could just grab like a jump rope or something like that. I have dumbbells, and you know, you can just do whatever your heart desires. But yeah, you definitely want to do something in the morning to kind of like get your blood flowing and be able to start your day on a good note. Okay, so let's get into R. I love R. I've always loved reading. And whenever I was younger, I tend to grasp towards fantasy books, like, you know, like vampire type stuff, you know, things that helped me escape my reality. But now that I've grown up, I don't like the fantasy books, so they definitely still hold a place in my heart. But it's just like right now, with everything that I'm working through with myself, I just kind of stay away from them, and I'm leaning more towards self-help books, success books, just things that's gonna feed me and not feed me a fantasy or just something that's not real. Focus on finding mentors and people that I can learn from, and things that's going to be able to make my life better and help me, because I definitely need it. And so I love that I can spend a couple of like minutes of my day just kind of like getting into it. One of my favorite books right now is the Bible, and I'm just spending some time in the beginning of my day just reading through it, and I feel like sometimes God gives me certain verses to read for a reason, and they definitely are helping. Someone else that I've been reading a lot of is Rachel Hollis. I actually like this book, Girl Stop Apologizing, because just for me personally, I apologize a lot, and so this book definitely helped me just realize that whenever it comes to personal growth, there's going to be things that you're going to be doing that people are not going, they're not going to understand. They're just not going to, and it's up to you to realize that setting boundaries and setting expectations and sticking up for yourself and using your voice is definitely going to upset people, because they just have this perspective of you that you used to be, and everything that you used to tolerate was okay, and now that it isn't okay for you, that it's kind of like upsetting them. So just kind of realize that. That's why I like to read, because these people have been there. These people have dealt with similar situations, and they're just being able to give their feedback or their experience in a book. Another good book that I really like is You Are a Badass. Definitely recommend this book, because it's going to just help you realize the potential that you have in yourself, and just realize your self-worth, and help you not allow anyone to dim your shine. Those are just two books that I personally really love. It's just figuring out what books or what things that you want to spend your time reading. Last but not least, we're going to talk about scribing. So scribing, again, I said, is like writing or journaling. And this is definitely something that has impacted my life. Again, whenever I said that when you wake up in the morning and you do silence, so you just kind of sit there and assess like where you're at for that morning. You definitely, like, if you have something that's on your mind and you're just having trouble figuring out what it is, it's a good time for you could even do silence with writing. Because for me, like, I've always struggled with matching my feelings to words and just speaking them. Like, I know what I want to say, but it doesn't ever come out right. Like, does anyone else feel like that? Right? So writing for me has always been easier because I could actually sit there and just take the time to really think about what I'm feeling and put it on pen and paper and just express myself through writing. So that is definitely a good tool for you guys to use if you are having trouble assessing where you are in the mornings. That is just a tip that I've done. You don't have to do it, but I just really recommend, especially if this is a journey that you're wanting to take, I recommend journaling. You don't have to journal every single day, but I just feel like in the future it's definitely going to help. I have old journals where I started, but obviously I stopped, which is something I'm going to quit doing. But it's just going to be able to help you, especially if you do take this on and you're very serious about it. You're going to be able to look months back, you know, where you were mentally and just kind of like see, oh, wow, I really have worked through these things and this is working. So that's just something to look forward to. Another thing you can do with writing is you could, at that point, set your daily goals or just the expectations for the day. Sometimes what I'll do is if I assess myself for that morning, I figure out where I'm at with the silence tool and then affirming. So sometimes especially if I don't believe what I'm saying, I will write it out because I know, as most of us know, that in school we were taught to write things out. And so that definitely does help it stick, especially if you don't believe it, like saying it out loud, like, hey, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, and you just feel like you don't believe it. Okay, so write that about 10 times and, you know, it might stick. So you can also do this at night in addition to doing it in the morning when you set your daily goals. You can write as far as like how your day went. Did you accomplish those goals? Is there anything that you want to work on tomorrow? You know, just anything like that. Like, I know the whole thing about Dear Diary, but you can do it any type of way that you want. Just for me, again, everything that I've given examples for is that I mainly do this in the mornings, but you can scatter this across your entire day. So these 6 daily lifesavers have really impacted my life, and there's really not any right or wrong way that you can do them. It's just like you can pick and choose certain things. Like I said, I at first didn't really know that I could do the silence and affirmation and visualization all in one. It definitely took me time. It definitely took me trying and just figuring out what worked for me and what was actually helping me. My mentality has changed drastically. Yes, there are days that I don't feel my best, but this is a tool that I've used and that I have tailored to work for me. So that's why I say that, you know, in the mornings I do wake up and I just kind of like sit there and just really assess where I'm at in the mornings. Then I correct that and I visualize it if I don't believe it. Sometimes I will grab a pen and paper and just write it out if I can't really figure out what I'm feeling or or where I'm at for that day. And then I'll like write things out as far as like affirmations that I really feel like I didn't believe that I was saying, and so I write them out as well so that I have some type of something to track what I'm feeling and where I'm at for that day. And just it's just a better tool to use in order to just kind of keep track of things, like keeping track of like your emotions. And that's definitely a key thing to have when you're working through personal growth and self-development, because just like anything in life, it's going to take time. It's not going to get better in one day. You're gonna have to keep at this. And so having the correct tools and being able to implement them in your life and just kind of make them something that it's like, this is what I'm doing and this is going to help me and this is why I'm doing it. Because if you have nothing to really show for it, like if you don't see any results, you're not gonna keep doing it. Like when we work out, if we don't see, you know, the clothes getting loose, if we don't see the pounds going down on the scale, like we're just gonna stop, right? So with something that is definitely all mental in our mind, if we don't have anything that is helping us see the progress, then we're just gonna stop. And that's not good. Especially with personal growth and self-development, it can kind of get a little bit hectic and crazy and a roller coaster at times. So you just want something there that's definitely going to help. Again, you know, reading, finding your mentors. Just an FYI, if you don't have the time to read for that day, what I have done in place of reading is I will throw on a podcast. I will go on YouTube and look up motivational speakers or just whatever it is that you need for that day. Like if you need gospel, if you need sports motivation, if you need a public speaker, or just whatever it is that you need, because again, it's whatever you need. That's why I say that silence is definitely the starting point. You need to assess where you're at, and then you need to figure out what it is that you need for that day, what you need to get you to the next level. What is it that you need that is going to fix it? What's going to resolve it? What is going to make a change in your life? And so I just feel like if you take anything from this video, just know that every single day you need to assess where you're at. And so you do that by being silent. No distractions. No distractions. Put that phone down. You know, if you have kids, I get it. Okay, take a moment. Go hide in the closet for a second and just like try to shut out the noise. Try to just zone it all out and just kind of like, and just see where you're at. That's your starting point. That is where I would love for each and every one of you who's watching this video to at least start and just pick and choose, pull things from this video that spoke to you and you feel like that you can confidently say, okay, I'm gonna adopt that. You know, Bianca is telling me to at least assess where I'm at for the day and then just pick and choose. Like if you're somebody who reads, okay, then go for it. You know, assess where you're at and pull reading and just do reading or listening. You know, pull a video that you can just, you know, a 10-minute video, 10-20 minute video for the day and just go with that, right? If you're someone who can go all in and go ham on an exercise, then hey, like assess where you're at and go ham on an exercise. If you're somebody who is great at, you know, self-talk and just self-motivation, then come on girl, let's do it. Assess where you're at and self-talk. So all in all I have to say is that these 6 daily lifesavers have impacted my life. They have changed me. They have been something that I've adopted, and like I said, I've tailored them to what works for me. So I would just say definitely do the same for yourself. Research up on these things, and like I've said in the past, it's all about you. So you have to figure out what's going to work for you. It's not about what works for Bianca, right? It's not about what works for your friends, your family, you know. It's just what is going to work for you at the end of the day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it does impact your life in some kind of way. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you aren't already a part of the Bloom movement, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, spread love and positivity. Keep working on you, boo. I'm out, and I'll be back with more videos.